Welcome back to Harbaugh. Throughout the Obama presidency, we've seen blatant attempts by the far right to discredit and delegitimize this president. Today, the New York Times reports that over the summer, a group of wealthy conservative activists made a plan to release an anti-Obama DVD by mail to targeted voters and to air on cable, and that they tested the impact of potential films. The Times writes, quote, a 30-person focus group looked at three choices. Dinesh D'Souza's 2016 Obama's America, which theorizes that the president's political beliefs were shaped by the radical anti-colonial views of his Kenyan father. The Hope and the Change, a softer critique of the president that features interviews with disaffected former Obama supporters. And Dreams from My Real Father, which posits the implausible theory that the president's real father is Communist Party loyalist Frank Marshall Davis, and that Mr. Davis indoctrinated his son with Marxist views early on. Well, according to the Times, voters in Ohio and Florida have reported receiving copies of Dreams from My Real Father in the mail. With me now is MSNBC political analyst and Bloomberg View columnist Jonathan Alter and the Chicago Tribune columnist Clarence Page. The blatantness of this thing, I think, went through the roof the other day when Sarah Palin, about whom people have mixed views, put out a Facebook post entitled Obama's Shuck and Jive Ends with Benghazi Lies regarding the Obama administration's handling of the attack on the Libyan embassy. You know, a dog whistle's a dog whistle, Clarence. A trumpet call is another. Shuck and jive has a particular ethnic connection, not necessarily bad in all cases. It's slang. It doesn't mean evil. Right. But to throw it at the president as an ethnic shot is pretty blatant.
Well, for not knowledgeable people, it has roots back in plantation days, actually, when slaves during the shucking of the corn would jive each other around just to pass the time.
That's where it comes from.
Isn't that interesting? Shuck and jive. Yeah, indeed. Thanks to you, I researched this, Chris. So I learned things. So maybe Sarah Palin picked it up during her days as a sports reporter. I don't know. But what disturbs me, though, is the jumping to conclusions about Benghazi, that there's a cover-up going on, just stating it as if, yes, it's going on and we got to stop it, and Barack Obama is guilty of blah, blah, blah. That's just paranoid style of politics, where you don't take into account the fact that people can make mistakes or that signals can get crossed.
There are mistakes. Mistakes saying I thought it was the 13th. It's the 14th of the month. That's a mistake.
Right.
When you keep doing this stuff, like, look at this Thompson, the kid of Tommy Thompson. I got nothing against Tommy Thompson, but he's raising his kids wrong. When the kid shouts out at some event that this guy Obama's been not from Chicago. Oh, no, he's from Kenya. At this point in the discussion, that may have been acute negativity back when Trump thought it up. But Jonathan Alter, this stuff, it just gets out. It trickles out every couple of weeks. There's another one. Yep. Trump says the president is, quote, monkeying with the unemployment numbers. It just keeps going on over and over again, just enough to keep it in the atmosphere, to the point where today only 2 in 5 Republicans in the state of Ohio, only 2 in 5 agree that the president was born in this country. It does work. It bleeds into people. They hear it enough from enough people, and they go, well, there must be something there, and they do it, and it works. This terrible stuff.
Chris, I actually think my old friend Clarence is being a little bit polite. I think this is rank racism. Sometimes people on the right get very upset when people on the left charge racism, but shuck and jive, that's like talking about watermelon or, for Jews, talking about Jews are greedy or the Irish are drunk or whatever. These are racist tropes, and we need to call them what they are. And I actually think, at least implicitly, Trump was playing on racism today with his ridiculous stunt demanding Obama's college transcripts. What's the subtext?
What's that about? Let's get to what is that about? It's about affirmative action. We know what it's about.
He's basically saying Barack Obama was too stupid to be at Columbia because he was an affirmative action student, and therefore because he was affirmative action, he must not have had the good enough grades to stay in college or whatever he's talking about. It's racist. Let's get serious.
Anybody out there, by the way, thinks we're saying things, it's over and over again. And if you say we're saying things, you're dead wrong and you're dangerous because people that don't hear it should hear it. Anyway, over this summer, Romney's surrogate and former White House Chief of Staff John Sununu criticized President Obama as un-American. Let's watch this little number.
The president clearly demonstrated that he has absolutely no idea how the American economy functions. The men and women all over America who have worked hard to build these businesses, their businesses, from the ground up, is how our economy became the envy of the world. It is the American way, and I wish this president would learn how to be an American.
So you have this endless stuff about he's not just black, which is obvious. He's obviously somewhere from somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
An American. Trump keeps selling his stuff to the yahoos out there. They buy it up because he's rich. He must be smart. There's a mistake in thinking. What do you think of all this?
What's remarkable
is this going to color the election results by a point or two? An election that could be 50-50, and a couple people buy this slop because they hear it relentlessly from people that make a lot of money. And Sununu, okay, he gets to be ambassador to the Vatican out of this. But that's not good for America.
Well, a lot of us thought that, 4 years ago that once Obama got elected, and handily so, that all of this other garbage would just kind of fade away. It hasn't. Yeah. You still find these ridiculously high numbers of people, particularly Republicans, saying that they don't think he was born in America.
You know what I think? I think they know he was born here. They don't want him to be president.
I agree. I think it's more than that. Well, it's a cultural touchstone now. It's like, you don't think Obama's really American? Well, neither do I, blah, blah, blah. And you got this sudden tribal attachment now.
I know it's sensitive for African Americans to talk about. Let me tell you, as a white person, I think it's a statement against the white people. They talk like this. It has nothing to do with blacks. It's a sickness by the white people. Anyway, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. We should be beyond that. Clarence Page, thank you for coming. I miss you, buddy.